Hi, everybody. Today we have a language lesson and we're going to talk about homophones or homophones. Those are some of those really tricky words to learn how to spell because they sound the same but have different meanings and sometimes different spellings. So let's get to work on that. We're going to come up with some together. We're going to talk about some varieties and then you can go off on your own and make yourself a list. So, homophones. Now, that comes from two different root words. If we look at the first part, that means same. And this part means voice or sound. So, words that have the same sound, like two, and two, or bear and bear. So let's look at a few of those. We have to, like going to the store. We have to, like the number. And we have to, like also, or too much. We have bear, like the animal. And we have bear, like uncovered. Like if you're running around bare naked, that would be this kind. It gets more complicated though. If you really want to get into it, you can break up homophones into different categories. So as a good starting way to follow up on this, making a list of as many homophones as you can think of, maybe set yourself a goal, like 10. That would be an awesome goal. And then maybe use those for your spelling that day if you want, or the next day's rainbow box. You could practice doing the 3 kinds of two, both kinds of bear, both kinds of pear. Let's add that to our list. Pear, like a set of shoes, and pear, like the fruit. There's actually another kind of pear too. If we want to get into some more advanced work, for those of you who feel like you've got this on lockdown, I think you could still probably find some new ones because there's more going on than just our simple bear and bear, pear and pear business. But if you want to go farther, check this idea out. So when linguists, people who study languages, really get into this work, they'll break it up and they'll have things that are called homonyms and things that are called homographs. So again, they've got that same starting part that's going to mean same. So homonym would mean same name. Let's look at that word. This ending nym means name. We can also have homograph. Graph means like drawing, picture, spelling, that kind of thing. So homonyms have the same sound, which means that these ones that we thought of, these homophones like two, and two, would count for homonyms because they have the exact same sound. Homographs, on the other hand, are these crazy things where they look the same but are pronounced differently. So you might be thinking, what is going on? But I guarantee there are at least a few of these you already know. How about when you have the word read, like I am going to read a book? That is spelled like this, R-E-A-D. But if I want to say I read a book, it would be spelled the same way. Both the present tense and the past tense are spelled like this, but one is read and one is read, like I read a book. I bet you can think of some other ones. For the ones that have the same name, let's see if we can think of any of those. They're kind of the easier ones a lot of the time. How about we just need to have words that have the same name but different spellings and different pronunciations, which means that all of these would count for our homonyms. Pear and pear, bear and bear, two, and two. How about I've got one. How about this? Hi, like hello, and high, like a tall elevation, like up high on a mountain. Give this a try. Think about focusing mostly just on this section up here, unless you want to challenge yourself and get into something interesting. Try these homographs. Those are, I think, the ones that we think about the least. I think it would be really neat to make a story where you used both or all three forms of these homophones. So you could make a story about a bear who was running around without pants. He was Bear. Maybe he went to the kitchen to get a pair of pears. Or maybe it ends up kind of weird like Amelia Bedelia. So think about those books where she always misunderstands everything in a hilarious way. So what if you write a story with your two characters and one of them is like, please walk to the kitchen and bring me a pear. And your Amelia Bedelia character goes to the kitchen and brings you a pair of something like some sneakers or some socks. That could be an interesting way to follow up on this. Remember that if you have a bunch of scrappy paper around, that works great for making paper chains. And paper chains are a nice way to do a collection of words too. You could come up with all your homophones and then paper chain them together in a big long list. Whatever feels good to you is great. Here's a last look at that. Remember, homophones, same voice, same sound, 2, 2, and 2. Have a good day. I miss y'all. Bye.